I really like the Zahin angle here, even though it's a little bit like it's a little bit all in, right? And your early game is going to be a little bit weaker. We know the jungle attention is going to be bottom side.
ShowMaker has gone for the death by a touch once again.
I'm like, why are they doing this? Why did they take my phase rush away? I'm not enjoying this as we have an all-in down here.
Yeah, Smash also isn't enjoying this as he just stands in the beat drop, flashes out of the way of effort as now Korea comes on over, Cuz walking over a ward.
Just yet, but the summoner being down means that a follow-up could be very problematic here for Smash.
Oh, BDD just ghosting after ShowMaker here. Does get the flash. He's like, you know what? I can get a flash here. And he does. Korea comes on over though. There's the Meep Slap. As Wind becomes lightning will mean that BDD has to flash as well. So both of his summoners, damage issue in the mid-game, the late mid-game with ShowMaker being Orianna who just misses his shockwave. The curtains are being called though as now BDD is just dead. So despite the shockwave, still going to be able to grab this one as the arrow is going to connect from downtown. There's the Cataclysm and Lucid throws down the Crescent Guard and he will just survive somehow.
That's
Effort also
insane.
has to flash.
But actually not going to commit is they're going to find Cuz.
Yeah, Korea coming over. The arrow is going to connect onto the Xin Zhao, but this time Cuz is just going to get the heck out of there.
Aiming has done such a great job, Atlus, at like impacting these skirmishes with his arrow.
Oh, getting into the brush there. I think they know that there is vision as the shockwave once again is avoided. Three Talon Strike, though, going to connect there onto Cuz, who's taking a lot of damage. And despite the missed shockwave again, they're able to get themselves a kill. The Tempered Fate comes down. Lucid, what is with this guy walking away with no health? Don't do very much at all, as Magical Journey is going to come on through here. Great Encore is going to land, as Aiming trying to throw this damage down. Hits another point-blank arrow this time, as Lucid, yeah, Crescent Guard, that'll do it. Korea may not survive, though, as he doesn't have damage mitigation. Has to flash to get out of the way of Cuz. Tempered Fate to stop any follow-up, and he will keep himself alive. Entirely sure Kyle. Maybe they're Kyle's team.
Kyle's team.
Good old Kyle.
I wasn't aware there was a Kyle in the KT in the ownership program.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. You thought it was Korea Telecom. No. Kyle's team. That's what it means.
Well, Kyle's not enjoying what he is seeing right now. Smash, impressive.
Well, yeah, Aiming is just going to kill him by the looks of things. Magical Journey is going to deliver Cuz over towards Korea as finally KT are on the board. Maybe it's Killing Team after all. Maybe Kyle was just a guy. I'm not sure. Korea is going to die as well, though, so that means Killing Team going to rack up 2 for Aiming. And that feels very good. Here of this sticky situation. DK have been able to continue building advantages with that early game as, oh man, nice cap jack there from Korea as the Encore is going to be avoided. Smash realizes he can walk out of Effort's abilities, and that is going to keep him alive. And then head back towards the Herald perhaps, but the Cataclysm comes down from Cuz here. Deadly Flourish comes in. Tempered Fate avoids the arrow very nicely as Korea is going to flash away. ShowMaker there with the command protect, and now Cuz may find himself overextended. He has to flash to get himself out, but he will at least escape.
Strong here is in trade. They're going to try to catch BDD.
Yeah, Shockwave going to hit this time around onto BDD, and he is very likely to be dead, but instead just ghosts away. In the area. Lucid just, I guess DK really want a team fight, and this is where they have the control. Flag and Drag going to get denied here, as Cuz going to have to walk it off. Deadly Flourish is going to lock him down. Shockwave pulls him back, and that is a kill onto the jungler. DK, do the Herald, for goodness sake.
Manage.
Yeah, and I mean, he has to do all of the damage, because Smash has decided to go Serpent's Fang there. That's why you buy the Dash Cannon, ladies and gentlemen.
KT champions.
I want to see him build the Dusk and Dawn thing as well, like Kanavi did. That was a whole lot of fun. As Korea is going to have to flash, magically journeys through the Cataclysm. As BDD and Cuz, they're going to join them. There's a Tempered Fate, but it's not down in time to save the Bard.
Orianna, even if the Orianna is ahead because he's Rise.
Well, Aiming's just going to walk down and try and kill this Scion. Xiu does have a few items complete, but he is still very, very dead.
LDR going to work here.
Yeah, he'd actually completed it. Wow.
He's a real threat. Dplus are kind of just falling apart at the seams here, and KT are just making simple map calls, and Dplus are failing to respond.
Yeah,
ShowMaker comes down and just is way too late. There's Seraphine here. Aiming did take Ghost in this game. He's got extra mobility. His Lucid is going to get collapsed on.
Yeah, just gets Cataclysmed. Let's see when this ulti is going to come down. as the Tempered Fate comes on through. Lucid now realizing that he's just going to have to try and fight. And unfortunately, that is not going to work out for him. Now a potential flank angle from Perfect as well.
They just keep finding these angles in the jungle, and ShowMaker wasn't there again. He's pushing the mid wave. They're going to try to challenge this Baron.
Yep, and Korea, he's going to try and escape, but it's not going to quite work. Finally, a Shockwave. Shockwave is going to come on through, as Shiu just has to drive his way out of there. I mean, ShowMaker, if left to his own devices, does do so much damage. But now, I mean, they've got a Seraphine. Like, effort can keep them relatively healthy as the curtains are going to get called. Let's see whether DK can stop them here, as there is only one smite in the pit. Grim Deliverance does come on down. Perfect is very low, but he's going to survive. And I don't know whether the same can be said for this Scion, who is just going to get cut down where he stands. Man, what a colossal collapse from Dplus Kia.
What a, I mean, frankly, like, what a bizarre game.
Some of the other builds that we have been seeing for the Jhin. Shiu just doing his very best to catch this wave underneath the turret, but with now a Baron buff, should be that Perfect and BDD are very capable of cutting through the turret and through the Scion.
Actualizer's done.
Yeah, and Shiu is going to have to flash.
Like you said in the draft, they don't get ahead, they don't have damage. They were ahead, but they're not anymore, as the Realm Warp's going to come through here to send the minions over to siege this second inhibitor turret.
That'll do it. The arrow is going to sail past and connect onto the Jhin. Now Lucid going to be put into the Cataclysm. Cuz makes his way out of it. Decent three-man encore there as well as the beat drops and 2 get snared. Flash in from Perfect. He collects Smash. And then the flash forward for BDD to finish him off. Shockwave is decent. There's a knockup from the Unstoppable Onslaught there as well. But she is also going to be cut down and they cannot get to aiming. He just shoots them and there is 0 response. KT will be able to take down these Nexus turrets, and Dplus Kia, man, the drawing board needs a visit, and it needs it very quickly, because after a great early game, nothing really happened, and KT, they will just win the game.
Favorites here, great into the Victor, honestly, and can implement this with the Yorick to great success through side lanes. To try to kill at level 3.
You can see there is a lawnmower coming down.
Yeah, Cleanse is on cooldown now as well.
Oh dear. Light Binding will connect there onto effort. We should be able to guarantee some of these as the flash in from BDD, but there is the turnaround from ShowMaker, finds the last auto!
Face, man.
Oh, that is such a big mistake.
You can't miss those if you're gonna flash for the all-in. Oh man, that is for like ever in his life, surely. As ShowMaker here drops the ult out early, BDD, I was like, you don't have mana, I've got just enough mana for my combo, hits level 6 as well.
And then he hits the shove, like he does the hard bit.
Yeah, and then the easy part, yikes, he's just too far to the right.
The big rock, that would have been very dead ShowMaker, and he wanted to guarantee, yeah, he wanted to guarantee that it wasn't going to be flashable, right?
That's like the kind of thing that,
and like, because he knew he had it. Like, the hard bit he'd done.
Yeah.
Oh. So sad. Anyway, aiming is looking for a little bit of an angle here, as he has pressed his R button. Lucid looking for a little bit of a battle against Cuz. Could be in trouble as he decides he wants to just drive away. Will be able to do so as the doggos get a bit confused about where to go.
But it does really hurt morale-wise, as Talia's a little bit more setup than, you know, burst damage. And speaking of,
yeah, ulti comes through for Cuz, and ShowMaker, he has no flash. He is just very dead, ladies and gentlemen. He's got caterpillar tracks.
Is he slithering, but he's a lawnmower?
Slithering would be very funny. It's all right, Arcane Storm comes down here in this mid lane as ShowMaker, finding a lot of damage, and there's the death ray. That's just a solo bolo, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, well, gonna just get out. I don't know what they thought was gonna happen there, but they gotta do something to push him away.
Well, here's a flash ulti. Is Smash now having to deal with Cuz. Now he's going to turn his attention to Career, as aiming with the ulti does get the slowdown with that Arc of Ruin. And the Impale is just going to pick up BDD. He slammed into the wall. They will lose Smash for it, but a 1-for-1 after all that investment. And now ShowMaker just with some free time in this mid lane.
To have a huge fumble.
Oh man, the footwork there from Lucid, or at least the caterpillar track work there from Lucid, is the flash from Cuz. He's just gonna look and try and turn it onto a kill onto Smash. He will be able to do it as now Lucid finds the Impale, and Shu finds the skies. ShowMaker is zoning another 3 people away, as now Perfect gets a rock thrown at him, and it's a double kill for the Jace. Flash forward, light binding from Korea. This guy's Lux is looking pretty good, ladies and gentlemen, as the shove does pick up ShowMaker, but the Death Ray is going to help Korea claim the kill onto BDD. That is an ace. Collector for Caitlyn.
If you're not ahead, I feel like it's terrible, but he is so ahead.
Yeah.
And
okay, Cuz is going to immediately lose half of his health, but does manage to get the ulti off onto Shiu, and BDD was lying in wait. Gets the shove and helps take down this Jace.
The problem is on the cross map, it's a pretty heavy cross
Wait a second. Here's a money delivery over to ShowMaker. Just throwing rocks around, and he can do that. ShowMaker getting hit by a shove once again, just barely out of turret range, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, BDD is like, maybe I shouldn't have brought him closer to me, but aiming is here, so it's not just the BDD problem, and ShowMaker is probably just dead.
Yeah, aiming was ganking. That's kind of crazy. Dash Cannon gets him out of the shove, but that doesn't matter. That just gives aiming the time to catch up and take down the victor.
Best as they can. Here comes BDD, an aggressive play here.
Yeah, Weaver's wall.
Smash.
Yeah, Smash could be in a little bit of trouble as, of course, Cuz is after him. Lucid taking a fair bit of damage here. Smash will be taken out. The Wild Growth helping so much as the teleport in from Shiu. They just destroy the doggo. And I guess they still have an 80 carry as Shiu shows up. My God, this Arcane Storm! It is absolutely ridiculous as ShowMaker is just raining damage down onto KT. Flashes to try and get revenge onto aiming. Sends him scurrying home, and now Effort going the wrong direction, but may actually survive as DK, they got Baron on the mind.
Kill Lucid a little bit. The Randuin's is going to help a lot, but Shiu the target.
Yep, gonna get ulted as he's gonna look to try and kill Cuz. Another Wild Growth comes in though as Effort is gonna show up, and there is a dead Jace. Towards them. And this should be a turret taken down. That's a good shove back as Lucid does get disengaged. But aiming is split pushing.
Because they don't want to rush the Baron, they just want to force the fight with it as Shiu.
Seismic shot gets dodged. That was beautiful footwork there from Shiu.
ShowMaker's angle here is quite strong.
Yeah, perfect on that flank. He's relatively tanky, but the gravity well needs to be flashed. Lucid now taking a lot of damage from aiming.
Dplus played that really well, but I think they've taken so much damage. He is actually looking for his own angle right now with Cuz.
Yeah,
ShowMaker the target.
Vision is going to be there. They see Cuz, but Lucid going to get slowed down as he drives his way out. Weaver's wall to try and catch Korea. That seismic shove so close. That could have been a really pivotal moment.
I mean, Dplus run away, but they lose control of the Dragon as a result.
Yeah, and you got ShowMaker now just dealing with this mid-wave as well. DK somewhat out of position and his 50% health onto Lucid. He's taking so much as Smash gets over the wall, and Cuz is going to follow Smash, takes him out. No 80 carry to start this fight, and KT are able to regroup. They're going to get their own soul point.
They get soul point here in Dplus. I mean, all they can offer is a final spark. Career gets hit.
Oh no, that's slow. Actually a huge deal. As there's the ult forward from Cuz once again, is perfect on that flank angle. He's going to show up, takes down the Lux, and he's going to survive as well. Shovel to the head, and down will go the Scorpion.
What a huge fumble from Dplus in this series, twice in a row. KT in a commanding lead in this game now. I'm not talking about the 500 gold lead, which is their first of the game. 0-4. And I don't know how else to say it, but there was no macro from Dplus in this game, and KT are literally running circles around them. They had 2 inhibitors down.
Very long for KT, even with the Baron. But the Weaver's wall, that's going to help them lock down this turret. But I don't think KT are going to be stopping here as they're fishing for seismic shoves. Shiu in a lot of trouble is aiming. He just presses the R button and takes out the Jace. He might be in a bit of trouble as now Cuz is going to get taken down. Smash able to grab that kill, but the first Nexus turret is going to get taken down, and Lucid just gets shoved back. That's another kill though as the Unara is going to fall. 2 Nexus turrets are on the floor, but DK stay alive.
And like the 3rd inhibitor is down.
Yeah, if they get any space with this Nexus, it's really difficult. DK need to pull the trigger, and they need to do it soon. Otherwise, aiming just hits it 3 times, and they just take it out. Lucid is going to take so much damage here. Shiu goes to the skies in a big way. Aiming going to send him there. There's a shove back onto ShowMaker. Smash trying to do the damage, but the Nexus is getting taken down, and KT going to pick up over 2-0. Nothing to see here, just clean as you like.